Matteo, what up, kid?
Glad to be back.
What's going on, man? Last night, did you watch the entire thing? 3 hours?
Yeah, I watched all 3 hours.
What's it like for you to watch it? Because you've been on the last season. Was it? Were you reliving like your first impression?
Yeah, it's funny to watch it back because I just know what the girls are going through. So
yeah. How difficult is that? And are you like coerced into doing any of the ideas, or is that completely your ideas?
At least on night one, I wasn't coerced into doing anything.
Okay.
So it's hard to say. Some of the windmill stuff feels a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Like one person, I can't remember what girl it was, but she came in and she was like, "I'm ready for round 5," she had the windmill.
I was like, nah.
Wow. I wouldn't want to be that girl. So.
And you don't want to bring up like the past or it's so
your
many
ex's
girls.
relationships and like sexual relationships.
Yeah, that's so weird. One that popped out of a suitcase.
That one, I thought her profession, when it showed her name, I thought it was going to say magician, because I do not know how she popped out.
Yeah.
Hair perfect, dress perfect. She was shoved in a suitcase. I have no idea how she did that.
Her name is Kiara. She's from Kennesaw.
It's insane how, because they had 2 suitcases stacked on each other, and I'm like, she's going to come out of those. But nah, she was on the small one, and you could see her like kind of banging the top, because I think they went to commercials. And I even said to Denise, I'm like, man, if I was Pilot Pete, I would just leave her hanging in there for a minute.
So you do see some of like the crazy first impressions, with the cow or any of that. Is that like their own contestant? Like that's their idea that the producers make happen?
I think a lot of it probably is. The producers will kind of make whatever happen if it's a good idea. So I think a lot of them, they come up with it on their own, and the producers run with it.
So you think the lady that came in with the car, is that her car? Or was she like, hey,
that was a pretty sweet car. So
yeah.
Which I was like, man, I should have done that. Just ask, like, give me the nicest car possible, and I want to drive it in.
Yeah.
So kind of hard to tell there.
What was your analysis? Who did you like? Who did you hate? What's your thoughts?
It's always tough to tell at this point. Obviously, Hannah Ann is going to be a favorite because she got the first impression rose and everything.
And by the way, we're all still trying to learn the names because there's
30 of them. 8 were eliminated, but 31 and adding Hannah Brown back.
Dude, the Hannah Anna girl,
Hannah Ann.
I already know she's going to win because she implanted something in his brain. So I don't know if you noticed, but she came out with a painting called the Smoky Mountains, right? Pictures of mountains.
Well,
do you see what she was wearing? She was showing her mountains. She was implanting that into his head. So I'm like, already game over, dude. I'm serious.
That's the front runner for you,
yes. I'm like, who brings a mountain in? But I get what she's trying to do. She's smart.
The girl that put the blindfold on him and started making out with him right out the gate. Did you see that girl?
I don't think I remember that. Was that not out of the limo, right?
That was out of the limo.
Yeah, out of the limo.
Out of the limo, and she just made out with him?
Yeah, she put a blindfold on him, and then she just started making out with him.
She was doing like TSA pre-check, so another one of those puns, to the flying.
Yeah.
And just started like touching
weird,
him
right?
and then just kissing him, like without him even asking for it.
I had no idea. I landed at 8 p.m. and started watching while I was getting through the airport, so I guess I missed that one. But yeah.
By the way, I love your dedication of through the airport watching. Respect.
Yeah, Peter's my buddy. I got to watch him now.
Have you talked to him?
So no, I haven't specifically talked to him about the season because largely I don't want any spoilers, and I don't think he'll give them to me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of setting up for a good season, just in the way that sometimes it feels like maybe it's a little repetitive. They have this kind of cycle they go through each season, and episode 1 immediately that's sort of off. Hannah B's back. Peter's upset. He doesn't know what he's going to do. Is Hannah going to come back?
And not just once she appeared, but twice yesterday. So I know obviously you know Hannah B as well. Yeah. What was your reaction to seeing her twice?
The first time it was a little confusing because it seemed like maybe she was coming back to try to get with him or something, and then she was kind of like giving back something that he had given her, so it felt kind of like a breakup sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then
I was all right with the first time when all that happened.
Because then she said, good luck to you. Hope you find your person, your co-pilot.
Yeah, and then she came back a second time, and then both of them just started kind of breaking down. So I don't really know where they're going to go with that.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine she would be a contestant and living in the house again after being the Bachelorette, but we'll see what happens.
And
next week.
Do you think, like the other girls were talking about how they have history, so it's not really fair to them? I'm sure, like on the other side, when you were on The Bachelor on her season, if some dude came, her ex, that you can relate to that.
If Colton came back and lived in the house, there would obviously be some
major tension.
Yeah. People would feel like it's a little unfair. However, if you also want to take the standpoint of, the idea is Peter to find his person, then it's kind of like, well, if somebody's going to hop in who maybe is that person, then they should be allowed. But I would totally understand all the girls being a little jealous and not happy about that.
What is Pete any different when the cameras are off, or are we seeing like
No, it's pretty.
That's pretty spot
similar
on.
to what he always was off camera as well. Just like really laid back, nice guy.
Does he always wash his planes shirtless?
I did. That did feel like a little out of character for
Okay,
Peter.
that's what I thought.
That felt like a producer thing. Like, hey, wash the plane. And he gets up there and like, oh, why don't you take your shirt off? It'll be funny. Yeah, come on, Peter. But obviously, I'm sure he's been doing a lot of sit-ups leading up to this season, so he was prepared.
Yeah, he was cut. I gotta give him some
Yeah,
credit.
he
He was
looked
cut,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Man, you being thirsty for Hannah last season, when you see her now, does it bring any emotions, or are you completely like?
No, unfortunately, we never had that great of a connection.
Yeah.
I always was trying to force like a spark to kind of start. It never really happened, so I never really, we never really like had anything going or anything like that. So I just kind of see her more of a friend.
Predictions on who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Like if you Pete,
Obviously, I think Hannah Ann isn't my favorite, but it seems like she is.
she's gonna go.
Peter.
Yeah.
And Ryan, apparently.
Yep,
Yes.
she's gonna do it.
So
Anybody else that's caught your eye?
I think Kelly Flanagan, I think will go far just because they have chemistry already. And Victoria Paul, I kind of liked how she put it out there on that first date and went as far as throwing up on that date. I think Peter, while it's gross to throw up, I think he doesn't care and really admired that.
Did you see the part where one of the girls handed a letter that her grandma wrote? Weird move, or how'd you feel about that?
What'd the note say?
I don't know. I didn't make it.
I think it was from her grandma. It said something like,
She reads a lot of books.
yeah,
And
like, hey, Peter, so glad you're meeting my granddaughter. She loves books and some other stuff about her, whatever.
Yeah.
Lame.
I think it was, yeah, it was a new move. I think Peter liked it. It's kind of like a sweet thing. It shows you have a good connection with your family, and Peter's obviously a big family guy. So I think it at least kind of stuck out with him. And he even kind of, you saw, he put it in his suit pocket, so he kept on for a little bit.
Well, he's not going to tear it up right in front of her.
Well, no, but he didn't hand it off to somebody else to
or
hold.
leave it on the
that's
table.
true.
Leave it
That's
on the
true.
table.
Exactly.
Hey,
So
when he's standing out there, where's Chris Harrison? Because he just pops up out of nowhere from time to time.
I can't remember.
Is he there with you, or?
I think he has got to be somewhere around nearby at least. Because the problem is when I stepped out of the limo, I straight blacked out, and so I don't remember if Chris Harrison was standing behind Hannah or anything. So I really have no idea where he goes.
When you get out of the limo, and I know you just said you blacked out, so probably stupid question, but do you recall, is there like a lot of people right there, like lights and sound and all this stuff, and you have to have that intimate moment in front of like a crew of 20?
Yeah, so apparently there are a ton of people standing behind the lead. I did not see them, but when I got in the house, people were like, oh my God, you see all the cameramen and the lighting and stuff like that? And I was like, wait, who?
Yeah.
There were people back there? So I had no idea, but apparently, yeah.
And what about like the girls? Because obviously everyone wants time with Pete, but that they have their like 3 minutes once they're in the house, and they get they have to excuse the others. How do you handle all that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's like the most stressful night potentially of your life at that point. It's just you've built up this moment. You have no idea if you're even going to talk to them and stuff. And so when somebody steals you away, it's kind of, especially after like a minute or two.
Yeah.
And then even Hannah Ann kind of went back like
Twice,
or
at
three
least,
times
yeah.
or something. So that is always extremely frustrating.
That was a Luke P move.
Yeah.
I seem to recall a couple episodes. I know he's your buddy, but a couple episodes he would still pop up every time.
Keep coming.
There was a reason why he was trending last night.
Is that coerced by the producers at all, or is that literally just the person saying, you know what, I've got to get my time?
It's always hard to say just because there's so much going on that it's not like you're not all in one room. Like all 30 girls aren't sitting in one room and they one by one go.
Yeah.
Some are outside, some are inside, some are walking around, some are eating food. So it's kind of hard to tell. All of a sudden you just hear that Hannah went a second time. It's kind of hard to tell did she just do that? Or did somebody pull her to do that?
So you're trying to, you're trying to gauge all that.
Oh man, my heart would just drop. I would be so catty. I feel like. Some of the girls seem nice and sweet, but there's so many with much more intentions. Like when you saw him before they even met him. Oh, I'm going to be with him forever. I'm the co-pilot. Blah blah blah. And you're like, no, you haven't even met. How do you know if there's instant connection?
Yeah, some people were like, oh, Peter is exactly what I've always wanted in a man, and I'm like, you've talked to him for about 2 minutes. Like, how could you possibly know?
And all the girls that cry, I'm like, I'm sorry. If I got to see that all the chicks are crying, the first ones that are crying, they're out. Like, I know there's a lot of emotions, but you are too
Let me play
much
over the top.
trauma.
Devil's advocate, though. These girls, I know they just met them, and I see what y'all are saying, but they also spent an entire season, just like last night, 3-hour specials. So they, in a way, they know them. Peter doesn't know the girls, but the girls feel like they know the guy because they've seen so many hours with him.
Yeah, no, you do go in, and it's kind of this weird dynamic where, when I went in on Hannah B's season, I go in and I'm like, I feel like I kind of already know Hannah at least a little bit, and Hannah has never even heard my name, never even seen my face. So it is kind of a weird dynamic like that for sure. But you also have to realize that maybe they might be different than they are on TV. So you kind of need a, I don't know, level set and not just assume you know them incredibly well already.
That's why I was asking you about Pete, like what's he's like when the cameras are off, if he's really like, because he seems like a really, sweet dude.
Yeah, no, he is. He's honestly, he's a little bit more of a quiet guy usually, nice, reserved guy.
Yeah.
So I think he is portrayed pretty accurately.
Oh, that's awesome. And is there any, the other thing I was wondering about, because I'm always trying to think like the producers, so I can not be let down, if I really like somebody. I feel like if they are interviewing your parents at the dinner table before you even met, you see, at the very, very beginning, they had some of the girls, and when they're saying, they don't say everybody's story, but they'll focus on a few people's story. Like, hi, I'm from Alabama. And then it's dinner with the family or whatever, right? And then she pops out of the limo. In my mind, I'm like, they spent so much time to get that whole story, they're probably not going to boot her like episode 1. Is there anything to that you think?
I mean, if you look back at the seasons, I didn't pay attention. I don't remember who all had an intro video, but they kind of sporadically do it because when they film intro videos before they even know how the season's really going to pan out. So
I'm playing myself thinking that way.
Yeah. So like on my season, the box.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Like on my season, Tyler C had an intro video. Obviously, went to top 2. The Box King also had an intro video. Kicked out night 1.
Yeah.
So you really don't know.
That's true.
You can't really tell based on the intro videos if they're going far or not.
I forgot about that guy. How?
Who was the Box King?
He's Joe. He has a thick Chicago accent.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
And he loves
the Box King.
Boxes.
Loves them.
Yeah.
Yo, do you still talk to these people? We got to get them on.
I do. Well, so actually, I'm talking to a ton of people now because I'm actually trying to do a half marathon in LA.
Oh.
And trying to get Bachelor Nation to do it.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
When's that?
April 5th. Yeah. So
Well, that's coming up.
yeah. So right now I'm messaging a bunch of
Duran,
people.
you're gonna go run the marathon?
You want to come out to LA?
Come on, bro. No, I'll cheer you on.
There we go. I appreciate it.
Dude, we gotta send you. You can make the sign.
Oh yeah, I could definitely. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've DM'd every single one of these girls on the season because I'm messaging them and asking if they want to do the half marathon. 19 of them have said yes so
That's
far.
great.
Whoa,
So-
that's awesome.
So some of them still need to get back to me. Like 15 guys from my season have got back to me and said they want to do it. A couple girls from Colton's season, and now I'm kind of working my way down the line and just trying to see how many people we can get signed up for this.
See, everybody on the
That's
show is so
awesome.
healthy and like
fit, yeah.
and like 19 people responded with yes.
I was like, I could walk a 5K.
What surprised me is actually like everybody is in pretty good shape, but almost everybody has said like, all right, I'm not a runner. I'm terrible at running, but like I'll do it. Can you give me a training plan?
Oh, okay.
So that's what I actually like is like everybody's in shape, but honestly, like hardly anybody's a runner.
Yeah.
So this will be a challenge for pretty much everybody.
So are you guys going to put together a training plan, or are you?
Yeah, so I'm going to put together one for
Okay.
people, like a 10, 12-week one, starting like end
What are
of
you
January.
pointing at me for?
I'm pointing at you two in the room. You guys
I had
have
a
wanted
5-minute walk. I
I
was
can
out of
send it to
breath.
you guys.
Yeah.
Send it.
Yeah.
You guys
What's
wanted
up?
to get back in shape.
We can do
So
power walk. Can you power walk?
Yeah, power walk it.
See?
I don't
Didn't
know.
you power walk a marathon once?
Dude, yeah, I did a 5-mile and a 7-mile. Wait, a 5-leg and a 7-leg power walk.
wait, what does that mean?
I guess that's like the miles. They call it a leg, right?
Maybe in a relay race.
Yeah, it was a relay race.
There we
It
go.
was. Yeah. But I power walk for 5 miles, man.
All right, that's a long way
It
to
was
walk.
Yeah, it was intense.
So we're gonna do this every week. Are you like for real in?
So
Every other week?
Well, okay, I will be here next week.
Okay.
However, I think on Tuesday I'm moving to Knoxville.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
We'll have to do it like over the phone or something.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
So yeah, but I won't be here in person, unfortunately.
To be continued.
Yep, next week.